Lots of good opportunities up here. Lots. And yes, my beautiful wife has just drove away, so I am feeling strangely alone and uncertain out here right now. It's gonna be a relaxing night. The freakiest part, I guess, was just the feeling when the car drives away and I'm in the middle of a highway median, a couple hours of town. But it'll feel a lot better once I get the hammock set up, because that's what I'm using tonight. And once I can take a look and see if it's noticeable from outside. I don't think it is, because it was real hard to see in here. So probably going to be no fire tonight, but we'll see what happens. Okay, some people do ask, and what I use for my hammock is a Hennessy hammock. This one is the Expedition Asylum Classic. I picked this up in Edmonton at a place called MEC, Mountain Equipment Co-op. In the snow I go. So I forget what it cost, but they're available places online. Amazon's got them as well. I don't have a link for it, but it's easy to search. And it's easy. There's better ones, and I'll explain about that later. That'll work nice. It's nice when the trees line up perfectly like this. That's not gonna hold. I'll learn knots one of these days when I got the time, but there's a lot on my plate right now. So I'll just go with the usual rule of thumb. Tie lots. Tie lots or wake up on the ground. On this hammock, these parts called snake skin. Makes the whole procedure a little less of a nightmare from just opening up a bunched up hammock in a bag. This is a lot nicer to deal with. Okay, I got the hammock adjusted. These things you can actually put down lower to the ground, provide a little more cover. I don't think I'm going to have a problem out here unless somebody drives by and they're very middle school, because this is the middle of nowhere, out on a highway, and who's going to pull over if they see somebody camping in the median? My guess is nobody. So I'm feeling a little emboldened, but we're going to take a look at what it looks like from down there. And of course, step 2, out here. Today, that's Canadian Club, 12 years, so that's good. I do like my beer, but it's a lot to carry, especially when you have to backpack it through a big ditch. So we're going to get some of this happening really quickly. You guys won't believe this. I got a knife. I have a knife with me today. So I'm learning. It's not a good knife, but it does the job. And of course, pack it in, pack it out. Can't leave any garbage out here, or else they'll start cracking down on people camping in the medians of the highways. That's actually not bad. I like it. Right up here at the top of the hill, and there's the two lanes. There's westbound there, there's eastbound there, and they're separated by quite a distance. So it gives a nice big median in here. It's up a hill, so if a vehicle was to come careening off of the road, it wouldn't be able to get up here and squish me. So we've got the setup right there. There's some animals up here in this these strange parts. We've still got a couple hours of daylight here, and this is probably seeming almost too easy for me. I might start a small fire and try to keep that hidden. I don't want to get too much closer to the road, because if I'm this far in, they shouldn't be able to see me, particularly if I stand still. They can't really get a good view until they're like right beside, so they'd have to be looking right out their window. And most people are focused on the road anyways. They're not looking for anybody camping in the median. So, and I don't think they care. But I want to get out once there's a break in traffic and see what I can see with this setup from out here. Except if somebody sees me walking around in the ditch, they're going to assume that I need help or something, or that I'm a murderer. I don't know. So I don't want to arouse any more suspicion than I have by leaving this one set of footprints coming into the median. Okay, I got a quick break in traffic. This is where I came in. That's the highway there. And from here, there is no seeing anything. This is going to be a walk in the park. Right, I'll just walk up through here the way I came in. And yeah, that is stealthy. It's a nice color for the hammock because it doesn't really stick out. A lot of camping stuff, they like to make it like yellow or bright blue. So this works quite nicely. I got off the main road just in the nick of time. With some slightly warmer weather here, and I mean that relatively because this is very unusual even for here. Like, this is normally a cold place, but typically by the 1st of April, the snow is pretty well gone. You can expect another little bit of snow before it fully disappears, but anyway, it is warmer, so I can get back to almost my summer pack setup here. And I'll show you what I got in the pack, because we got some time to kill before I start rummaging around for a little more firewood. And speaking of which, this little hatchety doodad, inexpensive, but good to have, packs up small. All my stuff is from Canadian Tire. I don't have links to it because they don't really sell it on, well, they do sell it on the Canadian Tire website, but that's not worldwide, and most of my viewers are not in Canada. So this is a Woods brand. It's Woods camping equipment. Oh, a friendly little train to keep me company tonight too. That's awesome. So I got my step 2. I got bear spray because I don't know if there's any bears still in hibernation or not, but this kind of looks like the spot where you'd expect a bear to actually be denning. So I got this in case I've set up beside a bear's hibernaculum, and I don't want to startle it. It'll probably be a little hungry this time of year, but I think they're still pretty well sleeping for the year. And I also am not too concerned because I don't see any evidence around here, that type of thing. And I got old Trusty here with me. Moving right along, I got this again, a Woods brand. This is a mummy bag, good for -12, so that means for like around freezing probably. I've used it successfully in some coldish weather. I got a little stove because I wasn't sure if there was going to be any accessible firewood, or if the fire would give my location away too badly. So this is also inexpensive stuff. Just an isobutane stove. This little guy here, she screws on there, and this, I have no idea where I got it, but I think it was about 20 bucks. And you know, they're all pretty much the same. So this is the emergency cooking setup in case it's a little sketchy to start the fire and get the fire going. But for electronics, I got my just a battery charging pack to keep the camera batteries charged and my cell phone charged, to arrange for pickups. A little folding tripod chair, because the hammock will work really good for a seat, but I never know when I get here if I'm actually going to find a good spot to set up the hammock. And this is, I just bring it just because. It can also be a nice little stool to set stuff on. And you know, aside from that, I brought smoked sausages today. They're Grimm's brand. And that just makes me pleased because I'm always craving them every time I start up a campfire. And you know what? Tonight I'm having some. So I gotta rummage around for a little firewood in a bit here. I'm gonna have a couple more sips of whiskey here, and that'll give me the courage I need to wander a little closer to the highway to rummage through some really dry looking wood out there. And we have a paper birch here. It's a spindly little thing. It's not much of a tree, but it's still a paper birch all the same. And that bark, if I know anything from watching real bushcraft channels, is that should burn. And failing that, I've got to back up. Nothing incredibly fancy. I just got a whole bunch of flyers that I can crumple up and start a fire with. So no explosions today or anything to start the fire, or big torches or that type of thing, because we're backpacking in right now. But, yeah, let's explore around here. I've seen a few squirrels already, and a lot of bunny droppings. So that's where we're at here. And I'm just gonna chill, relax for the evening. Oh, this is sweet.
I've never met a thrill I didn't like. It's a thrilling air thing.
No shortage of firewood around here. Nice. Didn't have to bring that little stove, but it's not bad to have in the event of an emergency. Birch. Out here collecting a little firewood, and I see this. Strange to see out here. I don't see a pond anywhere nearby. This was gnawed down by a beaver, a big, humongous beaver. And I just don't know why they'd be up here, but yeah. Piece of wood here. We'll have this fire started in no time, guys. And just in time, the sun is on the way down, and we're going to have good. Right. Yeah. Fire time. I put up a community post, and I think someone might know where I am. A trucker just honked a whole bunch when he went down the road, like honk, 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 honk. So, if that was you, thanks for the hello. All right. Sorry, co-op, not buying your stuff today. Gonna get a fire started with ya. Yeah. This is oddly one of the more real fires I've made without using all the pyrotechnics and stuff that I sometimes do. But you can't have those big torches and stuff out here. I'll give you away in no time. So, yeah. We've all lit fires before, most of us. And this is my method. A lighter. And that's what I'll have to use until I get Joe out here to show me how to use fire steel. But this is a lot smaller, lighter, easier to use. Here we go. Oh, this is awesome. The sun sets on another day in this world. Yep, that is a modest fire, and if I keep it small like this, we're not going to have any problems at all. No fire bans yet, and this is throwing enough heat to keep me quite comfortable. Well, another good reason to bring this stool is because I set the fire pit and I set up the cot or the hammock, and the smoke is blowing right at it. So to not get smoked out, I'm sitting over here for it now. And it's burning a little pit in the snow here, so that really hides the flame from the road. Smoke is a bad thing if you're seriously going to have fire while you're stealth camping. Probably a rocket stove is best, or a Dakota fire hole. I built one of those in another video that actually worked incredibly well. But unfortunately, there is no building Dakota fire holes in the snow. So this is what we're working with today. And I had to cut a switch to roast up a hot dog or two, or smoked sausage with a little mustard, because finally I get my meal I'm craving every time. As soon as the fire comes on, I'm thinking I should be roasting a hot dog or something like this. So that's the next step, is to cut a switch, and there's some fine looking ones over there that they're still green and they're small. And I've actually got a knife this time and a small little hatchet thing. So let the hunkering begin. Oh yeah. Now this is sweet. Traffic has calmed down a fair bit. I'm going to walk down and see what this fire looks like from out there on the highway, because I think we got a little break in traffic here. I don't have a light with me, but there's a super moon coming out, so that should give us good light until I can find the flashlights. All right. These are the tracks through the snow from where I came in, if you can see me or see the tracks. And from down here, I don't see a thing. Don't see a thing from down here. And that's awesome. I'm gonna walk a little further out along the tracks towards the road. Oh, God. This was deep snow. Yeah. That is so. Come in here. Get back in there. Awesome. You know, even with fire going. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'll never see that coming. They'll never see that coming. Awesome. My best guess is that this highway was really going to slow down at night. That's not the case. There's a lot of truckers delivering much needed provisions right now. I made myself a hot dog stick. It cost me dearly. This is what I had for a Band-Aid, but that was that stupid axe. It's way too sharp. A nice smoked sausage, and we'll toast the bun up a little. Put some mustard on it. This is going to be good. Real good. And I'll crawl into this train wreck here. And it's going to be done for the night. Oh, yes. All right. Now here is how it's supposed to work, kind of. There's no way I can show this on camera, but you get in through a Ziploc thing on the bottom. We'll catch you on the inside. Well, I finally got it set up in here so I can sleep. So we'll see you guys in the morning, and I'll actually show you in daylight what this thing is all about. And I'll try to hook it up a little bit better because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be hitting the ground by the morning. And I've got to learn how to tie some knots, I think. But I'll see you guys in the morning. And a huge shout out to all the beer donation guys. I am discouraging that right now because there's food banks and health services and everything else that could probably use those donations a lot more than me. But I do thank the people that have donated. So thank you all so much for the donations. And I'm going to...
Introducing the new Nintendo Switch 2 system. All together, anytime, anywhere.
Help keep your kids going with Orgain Kids Nutritional Shakes. Real organic nutrition with vitamins, minerals, and a fruit and veggie blend. Plus, 25% less sugar and a taste kids love. Fuel your kids' next adventure with Orgain.
Oh, I'm really going to hunt for another beer. I'm going to... maybe I'll get to sleep. It is so peaceful out here. Surprisingly peaceful. The road traffic has died right down, and there's the occasional train that comes by, and I don't mind that one little bit. So we'll see you guys in the AM. Survived the night and didn't get busted. So the strange thing about this hammock, you have to get in from that bottom, as I was saying. So it's not easy to get in and out if you got to use the bathroom, which I do. So that pretty much means I'm up for the day because I'm not going to wiggle back into this thing. It is, it's a little bit of a tricky system. But there's other ones that have a zipper on the side, which I'd recommend those, to be honest. All right, let's go do this. I put in the call to Crazy Neighbor to come and pick me up so the beautiful wife can sleep in a little bit today. And he'll be here probably within an hour and a half or so. So I'm going to slowly start taking this down and get ready to jump out of this median here as soon as he pulls up alongside of the road. But fire's out. Everything worked really good. It was a good, successful night. Definitely didn't get spotted or caught, so that's awesome. And the way my understanding of trespass out here is, and don't take me as legal advice on this, my understanding is that in order to be actually charged with any trespassing, you need to have gone past a fence or a sign. If it's just bare land, they can ask you to leave, that's for sure. But without a no trespassing sign or fence or something like that to indicate that it is private property, that you should be in the good. And that's just here, and that's the research that I did years ago. So that's kind of what I'm going with, but at any rate, this is almost certainly public land because it's a highway median. Nobody would be foolish enough to own this little piece of property because it's pretty useless to farm and it's pretty loud if you wanted to live here. But yeah, anyway. Well, I'm sad to admit it, but I think I'll be upgrading this hammock here. It's been pretty good for me, but just that getting in through the bottom Velcro there just doesn't work for me anymore. So I like the brand. I'm probably going to stay with this Hennessy company and see what else they have out there. But it also has, it has a few burn holes in it from being by the fire, and that won't bode well in mosquito season, because that should be happening here within the next month or 2 months, depending on how this weather goes. Anyway, if you guys got suggestions on a hammock, let me know if you got one that you really like, and I'll look into these. Let's see what I can get. I got my pack here ready to go when Crazy Neighbor pulls up there, and then I'll just jump in real quick. That won't be for a little bit, but I'm ready when he does show up. And again, don't take this as a instructional channel by any stretch. It's barely even entertainment. So, bring first aid kit, or at the very least a Band-Aid or something, or a tourniquet. Let people know where you're going if you're doing this. I did shoot off a GPS pin location to my wife, beautiful wife, and Crazy Neighbor, just in the event that if they didn't hear from me or something, the next day they'd know where to start looking. And yeah, it's a good thing for any type of camping, particularly stealth, because you're usually way out of the way, trying to not be seen. So that's what I'll say about that. I want to climb to the top of this hill and get a good look at both sides of the road here and see how the location looks from out there. No. Got some whiskey left. Breakfast whiskey. Yum, yum. I didn't actually drink much whiskey last night. The snow here is still devastatingly deep. And this is where I didn't want to walk to yesterday. So it's a pretty good indication that if anything were to come careening off of the highway, it would not make it up this hill. But if I were also to camp up here in this spot, it would be way too obvious. It is a nice clearing and everything, but it would be in a little bit more of a line of sight to the traffic. So, yeah. Just waiting for my ride to arrive. And then we're going to make the frantic break out across the highway to the other side for the pickup. So, thanks for watching on this crazy adventure. We're going to have more. We're almost moved completely into the house now, so we had to get an extension for a couple of weeks because there was just too much to move. So, and not a lot of help right now. Anyhow, yeah, let's just set up the camera, and I'm going to wait for Crazy Neighbor. Going to move a little closer to the road too, so that we can run quickly as soon as he shows up. Just waiting for Crazy Neighbor to come along, pick me up. And nobody looks over here, they just drive right on past, even with me this close to the road. So you probably noticed, it's about time for a new sweater, but I needed something really powerful and ugly for this trip. So I got this old thing on, and I had this back in the boondocking days in like 2010. So this thing's had a good life, 10 years, and I wore the snot out of it. So it's holding together for now, but just barely. And beautiful wife actually rescued this for me. I'd worked at the cemetery, and that's where I'd met her. And I got fired, and I'd left this at one of the job sites. It got hot one day, and I took it off when I was weed whacking around the grave markers. And I got fired, and I left this behind, and she grabbed it and held on to it for me. And then I think it's our second date or third date, maybe even longer than that before she actually got it back to me. But it was really nice of her to save this little piece of boondocking history. It's not pretty much all that's left in those days. I don't have that RV anymore. The storage fees were building up, and I'd had it in storage in BC. And after a year or two, I hadn't gone back, and I'd spent more on storage fees than it was worth, and I just couldn't justify that. So I gave it up to the storage lot, and somebody's got that now, but it's most likely scrap or garbage or something like that. But it is truly incredible. You don't have to go too far away from civilization, and then you start to find more nature. Not far away at all. I got a text. I wonder if that's the ride. Okay. Crazy neighbor has just shown up, and he's parked across the road. I'm just waiting for the break in traffic here, and then I'll run across. And it always comes in waves because you got that one slow driver at the start that slows everybody down. So where there's one car, there's always more. You know, I can see a semi coming, delivering much needed provisions. And as soon as he goes, I am gonna make a break across the road and warm up. I wonder if he's got a coffee for me. That would be nice too. Let's see. Okay, here we go. We are going across right now. Oh, another semi. Now, I don't have to be too stealthy on the way out because I've already done the dirty deed. Some traffic there. Not a problem. I'll just here. Nice. Holy man. I was really running on the way in. Okay. That was a successful camp. Oh, hey, crazy neighbor. Oh, it's going good. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you next week. And until then, stay safe, man. You're camping with Steve.
Is that Philly cheesesteak? Yeah, boy! Hot pockets. JLL is your partner for every workspace need. From offices to warehouses, we deliver innovative design and seamless project management, cost-effective facility solutions, and data-driven portfolio optimization. Peak efficiency across all your spaces, made possible by JLL.
Mm-hmm. Good time. Hi, I'm Greg Ovens, and this is Ovens Rocky Mountain Bushcraft. There we go. Oh. Didn't found a mouse under the picnic table. Me and Finn are going to head off for 2 nights with 2 items. I know you guys want to see some survival stuff, so that's what we're going to do. I'm at one of my normal campsites here. I want to catch a couple of little pan fries before I go because I'm not going to bring any food, no bedding, no coffee, no tarp, nothing. I'm going to bring a knife, some scrap pieces of paracord, and that's all I'm bringing. And, you know, I've had some people say, well, how do you determine the priority in a survival situation? I just want to answer that question because people ask me this quite often. I mean, it's going to vary quite a bit. Let's face it, if you're in the desert, your priority is probably shade and water. This time of year, my priority today is going to be making bedding and finding shelter. I hope to get a bow drill fire going, but that may not happen today. So I want to find a shelter and make some bedding. For example, if it was winter, and I'm doing this in the winter, my priority is going to be fire, to keep warm and to keep dry, because the cold is the biggest enemy in the winter. So it depends on where you are, what time of year. That determines the priority of the situation. I'm just going to try that little green fly that I was using at that last lake on the last adventure there. I was worried about this lake this winter because I didn't even catch. I fished it. I camped here most of the winter before our trip to Hawaii, and I fished 5, 6 times, and I didn't even get a bite. And I was wondering, well, did it winter kill? But now I see them swimming around and jumping, and there's a couple of nice size pan fries, but I don't care how big they are. I just want to eat something before we head out. Mike's first cast. I'm going to throw it out about 10 feet of line and just let it sink. Yeah, they're jumping pretty good. We should get one with this little green fly. Now this guy's pretty tiny. I think I'll let him go. Not look bad, I don't think. Settle down. Okay. Barely hooked. And he's only 6 inches long. I want something bigger than that. Oh, that one. I got another one. Pretty little too. It's 2. I don't know. I'll let him go too, I think. He's not hooked bad either. Nice to get something a little bigger than that. These little guys here, I don't see anything that's half decent even, but I'm gonna put my maps on. I can get a little further out. These are just very, very tiny right here off the dock. I mean, 4 to 6 inches. I don't see any big ones, so we'll get out a little further with our maps. Okay, I got one. Smidgen bigger. So I'm going to try to get one more of that size. I mean, this one at least is about 9 inches. Little bigger fish on the pink nets than that little fly. But that's because I can get out a little deeper where there's slightly bigger fish. It's starting to rain, and I got to get on this, so I got to cook that fish. It doesn't look like it's going to pour, but I don't want all my bedding material to get wet, so I got to get on this right away. Swallowtail butterfly. This guy's not very big either. I don't know, I can't just keep fishing. I've gone 2 days without food before, 3, 4, even 10 without food. So, not that I like it, but we'll have this guy and then head out. Not much. I gave Ken a can of food. I have permission at a private acreage to snare gophers if I get time or a chance to do that. But most important thing tonight is make a blanket and find shelter. I'm going to drive a little ways down home and leave the truck there. I think this guy is a little small to be sharing with him. He had a can of dog food, so he's fine. Pretty tasty little fish. When the rainbow were this small, the meat is always white. It's not even pink like the big ones I got last week. I probably won't go more than a mile or two from the truck because if anything did happen, I can probably get back to the truck. But you know, I don't anticipate any problems. But I guess you never know, right? A little windy, but it's not raining. Let's get our material. So I'm going to collect this grass to make a blanket. I'm going to collect a bunch of this. It's going to make a good blanket. Tie it together with the inner strands of the paracord. It's nice and dry right now. This is called ryegrass. And this is annual ryegrass. There's different types, perennial, winter, what else? Italian, blue.
Intermediate ryegrass, cereal ryegrass, Vegetabilia ryegrass, Russian wild ryegrass, Marshall ryegrass.
That's about it.
There's so many varieties of grass, it's ridiculous, thousands. But it's related to wheat. Hopefully you can see. So you can make flour out of the seeds, but the seeds are so small. I mean, to make a loaf of bread, I don't know, it'd probably take a month to collect enough seeds. But good bedding material. First Nations people used to weave it into baskets. This particular one here is not as big as some of them, but it's going to make great beds. We're going to collect a whole pile of that. Some bigger stuff back there. The other thing about this ryegrass is it always grows in big clumps like this. It doesn't spread like normal grass. It just grows in a big clump every year, unless it seeds itself and another clump grows up. So, this is nice stuff. Well, I got quite a pile of it. I think it's enough for a blanket. If not, it's through this area where I'm going to be. But the only thing is I got to pack this to a dry spot under a tree to make my blanket. So that's one of the reasons I'm packing light as well, because I don't want to be bringing a tarp, the bedding. And you guys want to see survival stuff as well, I know. So we'll make a nice blanket out of this. Whether we have time to make a fire today, remains to be seen. But at the same time, we're going to have a warm spot and build a shelter at least for tonight. This would make great bedding too. But where I'm going to end up, there's going to be moss. So that's what I'll make the bed out of. I like these survival things, even if they're short term. I'm kind of keeping my eye out for a good shelter spot as well. If it stay dry under here, I can work on it here too.
Patches, you want to hang out? Okay.
Is your cat getting too cool? Give them new Temptations lickable spoons.
Want to take the next step with Entivio? Then it's time to talk to your healthcare provider. With Entivio, you may be able to pay as little as $5 per dose. Plus, our team can help connect you with additional support programs. Entivio. Colgate Optic White's unique technology gives you a visibly brighter smile in just 3 days. Safe like repair.
Perfecting your swing is hard.
Nice shot, Dad.
Safe like replace.
But replacing your windshield doesn't have to be. Get it fixed now and pay later with flexible payment options only at safelight.com.
I think what I'll do is just scout around. If it's not too far to a spot to build the shelter itself, it'd be nice just to get the material there and work on it there, instead of make it here and then go look for a shelter. It'll stay dry under all these trees here too, so. This is kind of a unique spot too. I mean, you could use this tree as the base for shelter and run poles to these trees. Put your thatching and your roof debris shelter lie right beside this. I kind of like it, but pretty rotted. That was just the other end of the same tree, and both ends of it look like good spots to basically build a shelter. But I'd like to be a little further away, like I say. I don't mind a little work. There's lots of big trees, and I'll find something, another big one up here that looks pretty cool. I really like the looks of this. Got a nice group of trees here. It is a little bit sprinkling out, but I don't know. We'll see. Got to find a spot. We can't just roam around looking for a spot either. We got this really big ponderosa with lots of branches and needles on top. And then we got a group of 3 trees. We've got a ravine right here. And that gives me an idea too. And I don't think it's that far to the creek. So we should have everything here. I think this is a good spot. This would be a perfect spot for a bed. The only problem, there's a lot of needles. If we'd have to make a fire pit, but I'm not going to get a fire going likely today. I'm just going to rely on the blanket probably. But I like this. I don't think even if it was raining, we'd get wet in here. I think this is a good spot. Clean it up. Collect some moss. Some moss for the bed. I think this is okay. And I see lots of wild onions right on the hill here too. Perfect. Windy enough that I pretty much have to wear my coat even. I don't know what the date is. Near the middle of May. I think it's past the middle of May. I don't keep track of dates that much. Anyways, we'll get our grass and get it over there and make our blanket. I thought about this tree here too. this big fur behind me. And it would probably stay dry under here too. So that would have been a good bet too. But I think I found the best spot